So thank you very much, everybody, for coming to today's webinar, teaching data science in high school with KNIME, and today we will talk about teaching data science and especially teaching that to high school students. And I hope this is an informative webinar, and I hope if you're thinking about teaching data courses like this for young individuals, I hope it's going to be an informative session, and I hope it gives you some idea about running such an event. Before I get into today's materials, just a little bit of housekeeping business. If we are recording this session, it's going to be available later. And also, if you have any questions, please type your questions on the Q&A section of the Zoom call, and we're monitoring your questions, and we're gonna try to answer the question at the end with the different panelists. So please feel free to type your questions on the QA section. And so today, so first let me introduce our speakers today. My name is Satoru Hayasaka. I'm a data scientist for the evangelism team at KNIME, and together we have Rosaria, who is the head of data science evangelism team at KNIME, and we also have Lisa and Alini, who are both data scientists at KNIME. And so this is what we are going to talk today. So first, I will go over the motivation for the data science bootcamp for high school students and why we thought it was a good idea to reach out to this particular demographics with this particular subject. And the next topic is then Rosaria will go over the structure of the course. She will explain the curriculum for the bootcamp and what sort of topics are covered during the bootcamp. Next, Lisa will tell us a first-hand account of the bootcamp from our first pilot bootcamp we did at the high school in southern Germany this past summer. And finally, Alini will wrap up this webinar with information about how to access the materials we prepared for the bootcamp, and additional information about all the other educational resources available through KNIME. So on that note, let me go over the motivation of the bootcamp. So data science has been around for many years. In school, we have all learned about how to organize data into tables, calculate means, plot bar charts, scatter plots, and so on and so forth. Some of you may have even learned how to draw a regression line passing through your data on a scatter plot. What happened in recent years is the increase in the amount and the availability of data. So smart devices are everywhere, gathering everyday activities constantly, and the businesses are gathering information about their customers through various apps, purchase history, and account information. And the data are constantly gathered about our health, social media activities, credit history, GPS coordinates, and so on and so forth. So the point I want to make is that such unprecedented types and volume data have led to some state-of-the-art concepts in data science. You may have heard terms like cloud, distributed computing, artificial intelligence, dashboards, visualization, and so on and so forth. Chances are today's students have to deal with the data at some point in their career. So why not start early so that students are exposed to the ideas and concepts behind the data science? And so we thought high school students are the right age to start this process. They're mature enough to understand and follow complex instructions. At the same time, they are also sufficiently independent to find solutions to problems on their own without much intervention from adults. So we wanted to see if high school students can learn data science. Many data science programs for beginners typically start out with teaching people how to code in Python. This is because many data science tools are available as open source libraries in Python. But for those who have not programmed before, mastering how to code is a big learning curve. Imagine learning about difference between brackets, square brackets, and curly brackets, then learning about indentations, colons, single quotations, and double quotations. Say you can write a few lines of code, then now you have to learn which functions and objects are in which libraries and how to use them in order to put your data in the right format and right shape and the rows and columns in the right order. So I hope you get the idea. So students have to spend a substantial amount of time to become proficient with coding. Only when they are skilled enough to code, they can start constructing data science models. And although the ability to code can be a tremendous asset in students' career in the future, but if you only have a limited amount of time to teach them data science, allocating a large portion of time for coding may not be feasible. On the other hand, in a no-code or low-code approach, you can jump right into constructing a data science project. Different steps in data processing and model building are represented by modules or blocks specialized for a certain functionality. And you assemble these pieces representing different steps in data science to construct a workflow for your data science project. In KNIME Analytics Platform, for example, these building blocks are called nodes. There are nodes to read data, nodes to transform data, nodes to train a machine learning model, nodes to visualize findings from your data. Each node is set up with a graphical user interface rather than typing commands following a complex syntax. So you just need to follow what each node does and how to combine them into a workflow. And so our tool of choice is KNIME Analytics Platform. It is a low-code, no-code software tool for data analysis with nodes for reading data, transforming data, performing analysis, and visualizing findings. It is based on a visual programming paradigm, combining different nodes into a workflow. So you can see that in the animation that you're seeing right now, each of these nodes can be individually configured for your data analysis project, and you can learn to use a KNIME Analytics platform in a fraction of time you would spend learning how to code. In other words, you can spend more time learning about concepts behind data science and less time studying how to code or how to program. And another reason why KNIME Analytics Platform is a great tool for teaching data science is that it is free and open source. There's no license fee. And anyone can download and install KNIME Analytics Platform on their computer. The installation process is straightforward and no IT department needs to be involved. In addition, there are many additional nodes that can be downloaded from KNIME Community Hub, easily expanding capabilities of KNIME Analytics Platform. So far, I have covered why we thought teaching data science to high school students and why we chose a low-code / no-code approach in KNIME Analytics Platform. So now at this point, I'm going to turn the time over to Rosaria, and she will explain the structure of the course about the curriculum.
Thank you, Satoru. Okay. About the goal of this course. We thought at some point that we wanted to teach high school students the basics of data science, that they were ready. Of course, you cannot teach everything about data science, but just give them a taste of what data science could be, how to handle the data. So we wanted to teach them how to do the data import, the data transformation, the data visualization, and then some basic statistics, of course, not much. So how can we teach them? We thought of using as a teaser, as an appealing topic, to combine the topic that the students are most passionate about, which are music and games. So the challenge was to build a data app game where they are supposed to guess a song from the word cloud of its lyrics. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to have a data app. A data app is a web application with an interactive interface. So on the web browser, they display the word cloud of the lyrics of their preferred song. And then there would be some interactivity for the gamer, for the player, to insert the guess for the title of the song. And then at the end, you would have you're wrong, you're correct. You can play many times. And then using the game sessions, you can calculate some statistics on the result of each game session. So this is the challenge that we wanted them to do. Here I'm going to show you, it's a
Blinding lights?
It's a video
No, that's Wonderworld.
that we recorded for an internal run of the game that we developed here before we run it with the students.
By me.
Great, that was great. Blue Daddy. Da Buddy. Is it the name?
Those are questions. Oh, that's a hard one. Wish. But it's key to understand, to guess the title.
I wish.
So as you see, it's
I wish you were
engaging.
here. Wow.
So you
No,
build
that's
the
toxic.
data app, you let your friends play. So it's not only learning, it's not only listening to the theory of the statistics, but it's also, you know, you can play a bit, you can tell them which is your preferred song, and so things like that. So that was the goal. We wanted to have something that, we wanted them to build something that was engaging for the team, because they work in teams. So we have organized the bootcamp in 5 days. Each day has 3 hours of morning session, 3 hours of afternoon session. In the morning, we do the proper teaching. So we tell them the theory of what they are supposed to implement. And then in the afternoon, they have the hands-on team lab session. So in the afternoon, the first day, for example, they form their team, unless they come with pre-formed teams. I don't know, 3, 4 students per group, or I don't know, 2, something like that. So not huge groups. And then they are supposed to install the platform. They're supposed to choose their preferred song, and this part takes a long time. I don't know why. So once they download the text of their preferred song, then they are supposed to learn, and then in the afternoon to apply how to import the data into the KNIME Analytics Platform, into the workflow. The second day, they have the data that they have acquired the first day. The second day, we teach them how to display them, so how to parse the text, and then how to display it in a word cloud. So we will tell them the theory, what a word cloud is, and how it's constructed, and what's the frequency attached to each word, and the fact that each word size depends on the frequency of the word in the text, and so on. And then in the afternoon, they are supposed to build it, to produce a word cloud image from the song that they have chosen the day before. Now, up to now, everything is static. They have an image. So on the day 3, we teach them how to insert control item in this image. So how to build a data app. So they will have this word cloud at the top, or wherever they want. And then they will insert control items where their friends or the player is supposed to insert the guess for the song title. This one is for one song. Of course, we can make it more complicated. So on the day 4, we teach about loops, and we teach them how to repeat the same process for many songs. And then the day 5 is a bit the conclusive day. And on the day 5, we leave them the morning to give the final touch and maybe beautifying a bit the data app that they have built. Then they play with their friends, and then based on the results and on the statistics that they have implemented, they have a presentation. We have an award ceremony. The top 3 teams receive an award, and you know that there is the whole award ceremony to recognize the best work. As I said, students are supposed to work in teams. So the teams are formed either before the bootcamp start or the first day. So there is the first day in the afternoon, there is a bit of a whole preparation for the next days to come. The best 3 teams will win a prize. So we need to prepare also in advance the prizes that we want to give to the student teams. This is the agenda of the bootcamp more in details, so you can check it. There is the difference between the morning, which is the lesson, the theory lesson, and then the afternoon, which is on the opposite, the working in team and working together, assembling, implementing what they have learned during the morning to build a data app. So the morning is theory, the afternoon is hands-on session. Okay, so what do you need to run this bootcamp? This bootcamp, of course, you need the laptops or computers for the students to work on. You need laptops and computers where you can install KNIME Analytics platforms and the required extensions. KNIME Analytics platform comes with a core installation that can be extended by adding extra extensions. One of the extensions that we need here is, of course, the text processing, because we need to import a text, parse it, and so on, build the word cloud. So you need a laptop on which you can install things. Another thing that you need, since in the first day they're supposed to select their preferred song and download from the internet the lyrics of the song, then you need some kind of internet connection. Some schools don't allow that, so in this case, then maybe you have to think of an alternative. You have to bring USB sticks with the data. You give them the song that they are supposed to use for the exercise. I don't know. So somehow you have to make sure that either they can connect to the internet or they have a selection of songs from a USB stick that they prepare before or that you prepare before. Then, as I said, we have awards for the top 3 teams. Would be nice, since on the last day before the award ceremony, we do some presentations, would be nice to have a room that is equipped for presentations, like, for example, with a big screen. I would like to point out that the boot camp is designed to last 5 days. However, it is designed in a modular way. So if we make a simpler data app, we can remove some days. For example, the last day, the 4th day, was the one where we insert the loop to work on more songs. If we limit the data app to 1 song, then of course the whole day 4th can go. The day 5, for example, is about the award ceremony, is about, giving the freedom to play, maybe to add some last beauty touch to their data app. The first day is about creating the teams. So those are all things that can be either removed or prepared before. And then also this part can help to remove 1 more day. So if you don't have 5 days available to run this bootcamp, you can easily reduce it to 3 days or 2 days even, of course, by implementing a simpler data app. And that's what I think Lisa did, because she actually is the one who ran it in a local high school.
Right. So thanks, Rosaria. Right. So before we were rolling out the program on a bigger scale, we thought we first want to run it at a local school. And we actually got the chance to do this in summer here at a school in South Germany. And this first hands-on bootcamp we did, it took place at the Eichendorff Realschule in Gottmading. It's a quite small town in South Germany. It's close to Konstanz, where we have our KNIME office located. And it took place in a setting of a project week. So this project week was organized by the school. And during this week, the students had the chance to sign up for one of the many projects offered. And we could offer our bootcamp, our data science bootcamp, as one of the projects. So this was the projects. They took place from Monday to Thursday, so 4 days, from July 17 to July 20. And each day we had 4 hours for the whole project. So we started at 8 in the morning and ended always at noon. In total, we had 14 students participating in our project or in our bootcamp, and they were all grade 9 students, and all of them, or none of them, had any programming experience or programming skills before. Now, being able to run this project was actually super valuable for us because we could refine a bit of the content. We could learn some things, actually. We also, within the team, none of us is teaching to high school students on a daily basis. So it was actually very, very useful to us and to learn some things. And in the next minutes, I'm just going to talk about our experience a bit, and then hopefully can share some tips or tricks and some lessons learned in case you want to also run the bootcamp at your school. So I was saying that we had 4 days for our bootcamp, and each day 4 hours in total for the teaching and the lab sessions. So this brings me to one of the 2 challenges that we were facing before we were carrying out the course. So challenge number 1, the available time. So as Rosaria just showed or explained, the bootcamp was initially planned or is initially planned for 5 days with 6 hours per day. But we had only those 4 days with the 4 hours, so we had to deal with that, and we had to do some adjustments. So what did we do? We adapted the teaching materials. That was actually quite intuitive and quite straightforward. As Rosaria mentioned, the sessions, they are built on top of each other. It's a modular program. So it was relatively easy actually to just figure out what sessions we could leave out and how to rearrange it to meet the requirements. And another challenge we were facing was actually the teaching language, since it was in this case a German school in South Germany. We were supposed to teach in German. Now, what did we do here? Well, actually, the team was recruiting another German or a German teacher, German-speaking teacher, and this is actually also how I joined the project. So yeah, I was recruited quite late in the process of the project and was then able to just take the ready-to-use material, which was already created by my colleagues, and I just went ahead and translated that to German. So all in all, the preparation for this teaching project or for this bootcamp took me just a couple of days, where the translating part was actually the biggest chunk already. So if you can teach the bootcamp in English, I am pretty confident that you even need less time to prepare. One additional thing I want to mention, there was one preparation we had to accommodate beforehand, or one preparation was required beforehand, and that was that we had to organize a week before the installation of the KNIME software. This was due to a school-specific regulation. This is because at this school specifically, the students are not allowed, they have access to computers, but they are not allowed to install any software themselves. So we had to contact the school, and the school then had to contact the vendor beforehand. So this was so this vendor or administrator then installed KNIME Analytics Platform for us the week before. And yeah, besides that, this was actually all the preparation required before the bootcamp. Now, let's talk a little bit about the content. So I said we had to restructure the course a little bit to adapt it to the available time we had. So what you see here is the 5 days course schedule. And yeah, instead of those 5 days, we only had 4 days. So from this original course curriculum, we moved to the one you can see now. So what exactly is the difference? So there are basically just 2 main points I want to highlight. So the biggest difference is how we handled the teaching versus the lab sessions. In this 5-day course, we usually structured, or we structured it that you have teaching in the morning and lab sessions in the afternoon. But since we didn't have the afternoon, we decided to move the lab sessions to the morning, and we actually arranged them in between teaching sessions. You can see on the slide the purplish text. Those are supposed to be the challenges. The lab sessions. So just that I can highlight to you where and how we moved them. And that way the students had shorter teaching sessions, and they were then always immediately followed by a lab session so that they can usually what they've learned immediately apply in KNIME Analytics Platform. Besides that, we just moved topics between different days. and we only had to leave out 2 sessions in total. So we were we were able to cover almost everything. We only left out the session about data aggregation, the teaching session about that one. And we left out a lab session where students were supposed to apply what they've learned in the statistics class or statistics session to their data app. So we just had to leave out those 2 sessions. Right. At the end, of course, we also had the award ceremony. Here you can see the awards that we gave out for the first place, but we also awarded the teams that were in second and third place. They got some chocolate. Now, let me summarize what we've achieved during those 4 days. So one great news is that all the teams, all the students completed the data app within the 4 days, even though we reduced a bit of the material, which was really, really nice and also exciting, not only for the students, but actually also for us. Also, we've asked the students for their feedback, and overall, they all enjoyed the bootcamp. And we also asked about their knowledge about data science. So we already knew they have no programming skills or had no programming skills beforehand, but they also didn't have much knowledge about data science, or almost none. And after the bootcamp, they all improved their knowledge about data science, which is also great news to us. We've also asked the students what they liked most about the bootcamp, and most of them mentioned the hands-on lab session. So they really, really enjoyed working independently with KNIME Analytics Platform. We've also asked them about their least favorite part of the bootcamp, and they all agreed on one thing, which was the theoretical part, especially when we talked about the statistics, when we taught them some things about mean and median. But yeah, I mean, what did we expect? They're students after all, so of course they probably don't enjoy statistics, right? So, now coming to our lessons learned. The most important thing is that also what we've learned is that you really need to make sure KNIME Analytics Platform is up and running on your school's computer. As in our case, it may involve several steps to get it installed, or you even, like us, we had to reach out to the external administrator. So yeah, really make sure you have that covered at least the day before, but I would recommend, or we would recommend, even a week before or even earlier if possible. Another thing, what we've learned is that make sure to check your school's proxy settings. So I say this because we initially planned to let the students collaborate via the KNIME Community Hub. The KNIME Community Hub is basically the central place where collaborators can collect and share their workflows and files and more. And we thought we let the students collaborate via that, so they can work in teams, but then everyone can share with their teammates their work. However, there were some school-specific settings, and accessing the KNIME Community Hub was not possible. So in the end, we had to improvise there a little bit because we didn't accommodate for that beforehand. And we were lucky that we brought enough USB sticks so that we could do the data sharing and workflow sharing the old-fashioned way. Then another thing we've learned is that the data collection part that the students did at the beginning on the first day actually can take some time. This might depend on your students' skills, but in our case, the students really needed a bit of time to figure out how to deal with text files in Excel. So especially if you have less time for your bootcamp, like in our case, it might be recommended to share either a data set with them beforehand or to let them prepare their own data maybe the week before. I do want to highlight, though, that when working with the students and when teaching, they really enjoyed this part where they could collect their own data. this was also, I guess, because they collected lyrics and song information of their favorite songs, and this really gave them a big motivational boost. So there is this trade-off. Then one other thing we've learned, don't force the session about loops, especially if you don't have enough time. The data app works also without covering the session about loops. So yeah, just don't force that one. And lastly, make sure to choose the awards appropriately. We had the Spotify vouchers, as we thought it fits the bootcamp, the topic of the bootcamp quite well. However, it turned out that many students actually already have a Spotify subscription. So that about that. Now, before I'm handing over to Eleni, I just want to share a couple of impressions. So here you can actually see in the top left image, you can see the students working on, like, during the lab sessions, working with KNIME Analytics Platform. On the top right, we were able to manage to take a photo of their most beloved statistics class or statistics session. And at the bottom, this was during the last part, during the award ceremony, where each team was supposed or presented their data app. And there you can also see my colleague and co-teacher, Daria. And yeah, all in all, I must say we really enjoyed the data science bootcamp. We really enjoyed teaching data science to students, especially high school students. And yeah, I think all in all, this pilot project was quite a success, and we even made it into our local newspaper. So they actually dedicated a section where they wrote a small newspaper article about us. And yeah, here you can see that. And with that, yeah, I'm handing over to Eleni. She will tell you a little bit about how to access the material in case you want to run the bootcamp.
Thank you, Lisa. I love seeing the impressions, especially the statistics pictures and the newspaper coverage. So now let's quickly talk about how you can access this bootcamp materials if you are interested in running this on your own, in your own school, or if you're interested in just checking it out and seeing how it was formulated. Some of the materials are totally ready to use, very easy to adapt. To get them, the most important step is that you have to join the KNIME Educators Alliance. Maybe Satoru can put the link available for you folks in the chat, because you need to be a member in order to request these materials. As for the data app that we create, it can be moved to a server, it can be moved to a cloud structure and be deployed through a website, be made available through a web browser. And if you're interested in checking that out as well, please get in touch with us. You can write to us. This is the address here, education@knime.com. And we're going to sponsor the awards for the first 20 schools who decide to run this bootcamp. If you are interested in doing that, please request the sponsorship through the KNIME Educators Alliance portal. Here's the address. And here is a little picture of how it looks like. So if you go to the Educators Alliance portal, you will see all the way to the right that there is the Teams Crunch data, the bootcamp, and then you can just request the sponsorship and you'll see a form to do that. Next slide. So this is just a slide to tell you about KNIME learning paths. Our courses vary from the most basic level, L1, to specialized levels, L4, and they are available for a variety of different personas, students, data analysts, data engineers. And what I would like to highlight here is that high school students and even undergrad students, they would likely benefit the most from taking our L1, the basic courses, and the L2 courses. So here in this image, you can see a little list of the different courses we have. And they are also available as self-paced courses, totally for free. You can check the videos and the exercises. Just go to our website and check them out. And we also provide structure-led courses These ones happen a couple of times a year. They have scheduled sessions, guided exercises, and the main advantage here is that you can directly talk to the instructor and clarify a question. So if you're doing this with the videos, it's a bit more complicated, right? You have to write to us. But these are the two formats through which our courses are available, and I highly recommend that high school students, undergrad students, and everybody who's starting with KNIME to take the L1 and the L2 courses and then take it from there. Along with the courses, we also provide certification exams. So again, from level L1 to level L4, these exams happen online, and they are there to measure how much you absorbed about the content that was covered in the courses that are on that level. And if you pass the certification exam, you get a badge that you can share on social media. You can add to your CV. Here are a few images of the badges. And L1 basic proficiency, L2 advanced proficiency. The L3 has more to do with deployment and productionization. And then the L4 courses are more specialized, right? So you can get a certification on text processing, on deep learning. It depends on what you want to do. And here's the address for you to learn more about our certification program, knime.com/certification-program. We also provide books. The KNIME Press is one of our branches here in the evangelism team, and it has a lot of books that are useful for students of every level, but certainly also for students who are in high school. And these are a few examples of these books. We have books on use cases, like this one here, Will They Blend? Textbooks covering basic and advanced level, like this one here, KNIME Beginner's Luck. That's our most basic book for L1 level. Transition booklets like Excel and KNIME. If the students are using Excel and they want to use KNIME, prefer to use KNIME, it's nice for them to know how to translate what they know in Excel into KNIME. And we also have technical collections covering different areas. This one here in particular has a lot of use cases on data science. And all of you can get a free copy of any of these books using this code here, HS-webinar-2023. This code expires by the end of the year, December 31st. So feel free to jot that down. Maybe Satoru can also post this on the chat. And go to knime.com/KNIMEpress and get whatever books are interesting to you and your students. Finally, this is where you can find us. We are present all over social media. If you want to get in touch with us, you can write an email, right? education@knime.com. Or if you have questions, you can also post them on the forum. Here is the address for the self-pay courses. And this is it. Thank you very much. Now I believe we can open to your questions.
Okay, thank you very much for this presentation. So before someone asks this, I'm gonna ask this. So the slides that we presented, I presume my assumption is that it's going to be shared later day in a follow-up email. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So there was a question on the Q&A, and so this is so Rosaria has partially.
I can answer that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in Italian.
So when do you write a book on machine learning for high school?
Sure. I mean, you are the experts here. You are the ones who work with the students. If you want to write a book with on machine learning for high schools, let me know. We can help. We have a few languages available here. We have German, Japanese, and Portuguese and Italian. So we can help, but then of course the most, how can I say, organization to make it digestible for high school students has to come from you. We don't have that much daily expertise with the high school students.
Okay, thank you very much. So this question is for Lisa. So you told us a story about this pilot program, and I'm curious as to how you found out the school that you did the pilot boot camp on. So would you like to comment on that? How did they reach out to you, or did you reach out to them?
Well, actually, in this case, it was a lucky coincidence, so to say. We didn't particularly reach out to that school, but a colleague of ours had the connection to the school, and this is how they started talking. So yeah, it was nice that we were able to do it at the school. And after that, and also, I mean, I assume they're also non-South Germans in this call, but so this newspaper I shared, it's for this region here in South Germany is quite huge, and we actually created a bit of awareness or a bit of like fuss afterwards because this newspaper wrote about it, and since then the local schools are now aware of it, and yeah.
Okay, thanks. And another question. So here is another question. This one is for Alini. So if someone requests you to teach a boot camp at their high school, either in person or virtually, are you willing to do this, or is it something that everybody has to individually organize?
I think that this would depend on the situation. I think that we would have to discuss availability and, I don't know, a bit more. I think we don't have a straightforward answer to that. But as I said, one thing that we commit to is sponsoring the awards for the 21st schools that decide to run that, right? But as to whether we can also go and teach, or if we would just guide the professors, then it would depend. It's a case by case scenario.
I can add to that. So, of course, if it's close by and we can easily reach it, and we can sure we can help. We help in any way we can. But then, of course, if we are not available, or we can't help, or it's too far away from us, then you can easily download the material. We teach you how to teach it. Today we gave you a bit of a taste of how to teach it, and then then you're ready to go and you can teach it to your students.
Okay, and so there's another question on Q&A. So do you plan to also prepare some basic materials? So this younger than high school, I guess, primary school, secondary school, those audience. So if anybody would like to answer that question.
Sorry, I was busy answering. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, so now that we have material for high school students, do you plan to develop materials for younger generation, primary school kids, secondary school kids?
Let's focus on the high school kids for now, and then maybe later. I don't know. It's getting younger and younger. I think let's do this step first. Then let's
Okay.
think about the future later.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So I have another question for Lisa. So you shared us a little bit about feedback from students. I'm curious about if teachers or parents have any feedback about this boot camp.
You mean if they gave feedback to us, you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, if they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
any impression.
So the parents, no, but for the teachers and actually the headmaster of the school, I can maybe I can say a little there. So during the award ceremony, we actually invited the teacher who was our main contact to this ceremony, and the headmaster joined as well. And they were actually, yeah, they were very happy because in general, I feel like from the teaching experience, the students were really enjoying this boot camp, and so we shared this with the teacher and the headmaster. They were like, "Oh yeah, that's really nice that they worked so dedicated on this topic." So everyone finished their data app, and every team was able to play this game in the end. And yeah, they really enjoyed it and thinking about repeating for the next year.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. And so it seems like that's the end of all the questions that we have. And so it's a bit early, but I think we are pretty much done with all the things that we wanted to cover. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And you'll be receiving an email from us with the link to the slides and the video recording. And also at the end of the slides is a various way you can reach out to us. So please do reach out to us if you have any questions. And thank you very much for coming today's webinar. And I hope you have a good rest of the day.